How are you? Okay. Yesterday's video, the previous video, we were speaking about the punctuation marks. Okay, children? Did you see those video? If you haven't seen, once you see the video, the continuation I am going to tell now. Okay, children? Now, in the previous video, I told you about the punctuations. Punctuations. About the punctuation marks. About the punctuation marks I told you. Isn't it? That continuation we are going to do now. So punctuation marks, these are very, very essential for us. Why do we use this punctuation marks is, these are the pauses or whatever it may be. These are the main symbols which we use while we are writing the English language. Okay, children? These are the symbols which we use while we are writing the English language. Why do we use these punctuation marks? These symbols. This is just for knowing the variation of the sentence. The sentences, it varies according to the symbol which is being marked. If we put a full stop, the sentence pronunciation will be in a different manner. If you put a question mark, the sentence pronunciation will be completely different method. And if there is an exclamatory mark, the presentation or the reading process of the sentence will be completely different. Did you understand, children? So that's why we use these punctuation marks in your language, English. Especially, not only in English, even in Telugu, Hindi, whatever the language it may be, in languages, compulsory we maintain these punctuation marks. These punctuation marks plays the vital role. Did you understand? These punctuation marks plays the vital role while we are writing or reading English or Telugu or Hindi, any of the language. Did you understand? So here, not only because as you grow up, but after the other different types of punctuation marks will be coming in front of you. So in this we have learned about full stop, question mark. We have learned about these two. Now let me come to the exclamatory mark. Already I have started about the exclamatory mark in your previous video. Isn't that? Okay then. I told you that punctuation marks like exclamation mark. How do we use this exclamation mark? Means the symbol for this is a straight line. Down to the straight line, a dot will be kept. This is called as an exclamation mark, the exclamatory mark. And this we used in the exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentences. In which type of sentences do we generally use this exclamatory mark? We use this exclamation mark in the exclamatory sentence. I think I am clear. So that means, like, if you are in a joy or happy mood, if you are in a joy or happy mood, if you are in sad or sorrow, if you are very sad or sorrow, if you are in a surprise or shock, surprise or a shock condition. Okay, that means different types of emotions. Different types of emotions. These different types of emotions we use. Whatever the type of emotion we are supposed to present, those expressions will be expressed with the support of an exclamatory mark. Okay, we use the exclamatory mark, and if you find the exclamatory mark in the given sentence, we can understand that the sentence is expressing your extreme joy, your extreme sadness or sorrow, your extreme surprise, shock. Did you understand, children? These all are our emotions. These all are our emotions. What type of emotions it may be, we use an exclamatory mark. And in the second stage, wherever you find the interjections. You know interjections? The words like oh, we'll put an exclamatory mark. Ouch. Ouch. We put an exclamatory mark. Bravo. Bravo. We use an exclamatory mark. Did you understand? Ouch. Oh. Bravo. These type of words. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. So like these words we call them as interjections. What do we call these words? We call these words as interjections. And whenever you get the word interjections, next to the interjection, we'll use the exclamatory mark. Hope you understood this one. Now, with this, I'm going to tell you 2 or 3 examples in a form of a sentence so that you will be able to understand how to write the sentence. Which mark you have to use. Example coming like this. Acharya. Acharya. I am not hungry. I am not hungry. Here, Acharya. Acharya. I am not hungry. So, when you read this sentence, Acharya, I am not hungry. This is not the way. Acharya, I am not hungry. This is not the method you have to read. You have to read Acharya because a comma is being placed. Acharya. Next, I am not hungry. You are expressing your anger. That expression of anger is there. So, we have to place an exclamatory mark at the end of the sentence. When you read the sentence, I am not hungry means, I am not hungry. It's a general sentence. But if there is a stress mark, if we are giving the stress, I am not hungry, the way we read out will show you that which type of mark we have to use. Generally, if this sentence is used, I am not hungry. Your mother asks, come for lunch. Come on, I arranged lunch, come for lunch. Then you can say simply, I am not hungry. If you say the sentence like this, I am not hungry, just it's a common way of presentation. I am not hungry. There we can put a full stop even. There is no mistake in that. But when there is a modulation of presenting, reading out the sentence, I am not hungry. I am not hungry. The presentation, the way we read out will show you that which type of mark we have to present. Understood, children? So that's why here I am not hungry. Just it's a simple way of method. We are saying. Then we will put a full stop. But here this king or the person, he is expressing his anger. He is expressing his anger. Anger is also one type of emotion, isn't it? Our anger is also one type of emotion. I am not hungry. So that's why we have to place an exclamatory mark. Is that clear, children? Okay. Coming to the next type of sentence. Next one. Wow. I saw a rainbow. I saw a rainbow in the early hours. I saw a rainbow in the early hours. So here is a sentence. So when we read the sentence, we can clearly understand. I saw a rainbow in the early hours. It is a simple way of presentation. So that's why I saw a rainbow in the early hours. Here after we should put a full stop. There is no doubt in this. Here we got the word wow. 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 Expresses your surprise. Your surprise of your expression. So this is an interjection. This word is an interjection. So here after the interjection we should place a exclamatory mark. Is that clear, children? Wow. So wow, your expression is being done. Whatever the sentence you want to tell you is, it should be in a general way. I saw a rainbow in the early hours. What is the reason for your expression wow? What is the reason for the expression wow? The expression wow is expressed because you saw a rainbow in the early hours. Okay children? So this expression for this surprising event, for this surprising view, you have given a expressing word or your emotion of surprise by using the word wow, the word interjection. Okay children? So that's why after this interjection word, we place an exclamatory mark. And this is the general information. So after this, we place the full stop. Clear children? Okay. Coming to the next one more example. One more example. So if you have seen the previous video, in that I told you about full stop. In that I told you about question mark. Isn't it? And now this is about the exclamatory mark. Exclamatory mark. What a joyous occasion. What a joyous occasion it was. So here, what a joyous occasion it was. Means some wedding or whatever it may be, a birthday event or some occasion has been taken place and you visited to that place and you felt very happy. You enjoyed a lot. Different types of games maybe are being kept, or maybe a different style of occasion has been done. So completely the time you went till you return back, you enjoyed completely. So that you express with the word of joyous. Joyous means happy. It was a full entertainment occasion it was. Okay. Now in the previous class I told you, generally when the word starts with WH, it's a question. That's what I told you. Did you remember? WH words are there, means if any sentence starts with WH, like what, why, where, then you can use a question mark. That's what I told you. Isn't it? Now here, you got a dilemma. What a joyous occasion it was. Is that we should put a question mark? Is it correct? No. Here, we should not place a question mark. Why? What did I tell? I told you very clearly, after using this WH word, what or why, where, whatever it comes, after that, you should find a verb. You should compulsory find a verb. Then only it is considered as a question. Then you should place a question mark. That's what I told you. That's why I insisted very clearly on that step in that video while you are reading what. Simply what, why, where. After finding that, next to that, if you find the word like is, are, was, were, different types of verbs, supporting verbs. If you find any of these supporting verbs, then what you should use? You should use a question mark. Now here coming to this sentence. What is it? WH word. So blindly don't put a question mark. Next to what is word a verb? No. That means it is not a verb, so it cannot be a question. Understood children? It cannot be an interrogative sentence. It cannot be an interrogative sentence. What a? What a? So, when you find the word what a, what and, any of this, only what. Only even what. Next to this, you may find some other word. You may find some other word like adjective or any other word. Any other word. Mostly you may get adjectives. Okay. What a joyous occasion. It was. It was. So your happiness is being expressed in this sentence sentence, that's why we should place an exclamatory mark. Is that clear, children? What a, what am. If you find any of these three sentences, any of these three words in the beginning of the sentence, you should find next to that if there is no verb means, especially you have to find afterward no verb means, it is a, you should use an exclamatory mark. If you find the word what a blindly, you can put an exclamatory mark. If you find what an, then also you can use an exclamatory mark. Clear, children? This is clear? Okay. Then let me come to the 2 or 3 examples how to write, and then I give you the homework based upon this. Okay? So you can do in your notebooks. So just 3 sentences I will tell you how to do the changes, and then remaining will be given as a homework. Okay? Hope you understood. This exercise will be completed with the support of that. So here, first one, do you know the story? Do you know the story of Arjuna? Do you know the story of Arjuna? The prince was named Alexander. The prince was named Alexander. How funny the story. How funny the story was. Okay, children. So here I gave you 3 sentences. The punctuation marks which you have to use, the different punctuation marks which I told you, you are supposed to use in that. Okay. So after this I forgot one more, that is usage of apostrophe. I just, after explaining these 3 sentences, I will explain this apostrophe also. Sorry. Okay then. Do you know the story? You are supposed to use the punctuation marks wherever is necessary. How to rewrite? Let me tell you. So here, do you know the story of Arjuna? Do you know the beginning of the sentence? What did I tell you? Always the beginning of the sentence should be capital letter. So write D-O, do. D as a capital letter. Do you know the story of Arjuna? Arjuna. Here when we come to the word Arjuna, Arjuna is a proper noun, name of a person. Always the name of a person should be in a capital letter. So write A as capital Arjuna. So here in the previous class I told you when any sentence starts with do, does or did, the sentence ends with a question mark. That sentence ends with a question mark. Do you know the story of Arjuna? Do you know the story of Arjuna? That's not the way. Do you know the story of Arjuna? The presentation, the style of reading the sentence will absolutely changes. Do you know? Niku telusa? The way we are asking is, do you know the story of Arjuna? The story of Arjuna. What we are wanting to know is about the story of Arjuna. Do you know or not? So the modulation here. Do you know? Do you know the story of Arjuna? This is the way we have to read out the sentence. So when we ask a question, the people will, with your facial expressions, with your gestures, that's what I told you. With your gestures, people will be able to understand that you question or you are giving your surprise expression or whether you are simply giving the answer. Okay children? So a simple statement or any interrogative or an exclamatory or any pleasing like imperative question. Okay? This is clear? Coming to the second one. The prince was named Alexander. The prince was named Alexander. Obviously, the sentence we should begin with a capital letter. So write down T-H-E, the T capital. Do we need to write the word prince as a capital? No. Why? Because prince, it is a common noun. Okay? The child of a king were definitely called as a prince. The child of a king is whoever king it may be. If a king has given birth to a heir, means to his varasudu, heir, that person will definitely called as a prince, isn't it? All kings' sons we call them as a prince. So it's a common noun. It's a common noun. So common nouns, no need to use any capital letters. Common nouns, no need to use any capital letters. So simply write down the word prince as it is. The prince was named Alexander. Alexander. Again, Alexander, it's a proper noun. Name of a particular person. A should be written as a capital Alexander. So it is just an information oriented sentence. The prince was named Alexander. Prince ki name Alexander repeated. It's a general sentence. So that's why we should use a full stop at the end of the sentence. And generally like the way simple any noun or a pronoun. The prince means it's a noun. It's a noun. Keep the articles aside. A and the pakkaram pettandi. The next word will be considered. If the sentence is starting with the, a and or the. If the sentence is beginning with a and the, keep these three words aside and take the second word. Take the second word into criteria and find out whether it is a noun or a pronoun. If the sentence is starting with a noun or a pronoun, what did I tell? Yes, we should use a full stop. Am I clear? That is considered as a declarative sentence. So that's why here prince is a noun. Prince is a noun, though it's a common noun or a proper noun, keep it in your mind. So it's a noun, that's why you should end the sentence with a full stop. This is clear. Coming to the last sentence. How funny the story was. So here we started the sentence with how. How. Okay children. So start the sentence obviously with a capital letter H-O-W. How funny. How funny the story was. So here the sentence is begun. We started the sentence with the word how, which is a question word. But what did I tell? Next to the word is a verb or not, you have to identify. If it is not a verb, it is giving the expression of emotion. That sentence is giving the expression of emotion. So after how, there is no is, am, are, was, were. That sort of words are not found. We immediately found another word, funny. We found the word funny. Funny, which is an adjective. So that's why how funny the story was. It's an expression of emotion. That's why we should place an exclamatory mark. Okay children, this is clear? Any doubts? No? So okay. So when we start any sentence, we should use capital letter, and according to the sentence, which punctuation mark will come, you should put the punctuation. We should use the punctuation mark. Okay children? So according to the sentence, if any other necessities like I have shown you here, Arjuna, we wrote it is a proper noun, that's why we wrote in a capital letter. Alexander, it's a proper noun, so we used a capital letter. So whatever the sentence we have begun, we used capital letter. Those, that is one of the important punctuation marks you have to remind. Okay children, this is clear. So based upon this, we will give you some exercise for